Hey guys, it's Steve here with Mosport. So what we're doing today is I'm doing a throttle cable swap on my cart. We've got a little bit of a sticking issue, just going through some nasty dust. Last couple races has wanted it to hold. So now we're going to swap it out with our brand new throttle cable. I'm going to put a link of these in the description. So if you want to grab one, they have them all different sizes, different colors on Amazon. That's where we pick ours up. Just makes it super simple and it'll be at your door the next day. First things first is we're going to need our tools. I've got two 12s to take the throttle cable off of our tab. I've got an 8mm to remove our stop from our cable. Same with the vice grips because it's got a round bottom instead of another 8. And then I've got this guy to remove all of our zip ties that go up and hold everything on. And then we also have a Phillips screwdriver to pull this guy. So it's a TM24 Mikuni. And it's a square slide, so you have to pull everything out. The round slides will just pull off with they're threaded on the top. So we're gonna swap these out, and then we'll pull the whole thing, and then we'll put the new guy on. First things first is we'll cut all of our zip ties. So we've got a couple on here. And now we're loose. So then what we'll do next is remove our bolts right here. So grab that's the two 12s. Fairly easy job here. Okay. And now I'll get us set up to remove the piece off of the cable. So as you can see, I have my vice grips holding the cable lock. I'll grab my 8mm right here. Just pop that off nice and easy like. There we go. And then the whole thing will just slide right out. Sweet. There we go. Put this bolt back on because the new one has its own bolts, or nuts I mean. Set that on there, and now we're gonna move back to the carburetor to pull all that apart, and I'll show you how that works. Now what we're going to do is we've got to pull these two Phillips heads and our grommet. Pop these off. Make sure you don't get any dirt or anything metal in there. It's the last thing you need in your carburetor, getting it stuck. So we'll pull the whole thing apart. Okay. And so check it out with these guys. What you want to do is you pull all this back. Yeah, you can feel that. It's got, look, that doesn't want to slide at all. That thing is filled with dirt. You pull everything back and out, and then inside of here is a little plastic piece that holds the cable end from popping out. So we'll just kind of jiggle it. There it is. And as you can see, it's got a little slot right there where the new guy is going to sit in, and then this will lock it. So first thing we're gonna do is put the new throttle cable into the tab. Get it through here. So let's fish this guy through. And then I'm not positive where this is going to sit, so we're just gonna set it up here, put the other nut on there, just so we can see exactly where we want to be. Once we get everything plugged in, we'll do the final adjustment at the end. But I want to get this guy on here, so I've got a little bit of structure to work the back of it. So I'll get that. I've got the two 12s holding it together, so that'll hold it. And then we're not sure exactly how far this is going to go this way. Alright, so now this is the back side on the carb end. What we got to do is I've already got the grommet onto, there's a bolt here. Then we will fish this through. And what's nice is, so this guy will clip onto the lip right there. Do a little bit of a spin, kind of let it sit. There we go. Nice and clean. And then the spring will come next. As you can see, I got a ton of slack. That other side's not open to give me all this slack, so it makes it easier to run everything into the carb itself. And then what we're gonna do is put the lock on. Make sure the tab piece, that little deal on there, that's gonna go down. And then next is going to be our slide. So it's got the little slot in there. This guy will sit just inside of that. Get a better grip on it here. And bam, all right. So that's sitting in there. Set so where the slot is on there is where this little guy is gonna sit in. And bam. Okay, you can see it's in there. And what we'll do is we're gonna bring everything up, drop the spring on there just to hold it. And then this has got a little slot right here that's gonna be on that side. So let's turn it around, slide it down in there. You know what? I'm just gonna pull the top off so I can put this down on there. Okay, we'll hit it. And then it's got a couple of little screws that will sit on here to hold it in. Get them started, and we'll tighten them down. Okay. Cool. Cool. Alright. Then what we can do is we'll bring our cable back. This is a little long, but that's fine because that will give us the space I need to do everything. I'll pop this guy on here. Just like I said, you spin it a little bit. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is get everything mounted, and then we'll figure out how much we need to pull on the slack over there and tighten that up. So what I've done is I've just put a little loop here because this thing is pretty long. I just need a little bit of extra slack. And then I've already got a zip tie on here. So I'm gonna grab another one. Kind of where I want it. I want a little bit of a loop towards the top because you don't want this to be like tight on the edge of the carburetor. I'm gonna put that piece here. Bam. And then I'll set this where I want it. Down. Up. Tighten this guy in. Alright, cool. So I'll probably do another one just here just to hold it a little better. Yep, there it is. Cool. Nip all these off. And I'm gonna throw one more on the frame itself just so we're not hanging. Drop this down here with the rest of these guys. Next what we're going to do is move this guy so we have our tension. So it's tight now. I can pull the carburetor, the slide, so we'll get it zoomed in and I'll show you how we get everything set up down here. Next we are going to pull this. So I've got a hole in my washer right there. Get it through. That's what's going to hold everything to the throttle itself that goes to the pedal. And then we've got our lock here. Bring that in. And we're gonna set it up right there. Just go hand tight. This one is nice because it actually has a bolt hex on the top and the bottom. The other one didn't, so I had to run the vice grips on it. Bring this down here. It's an 8mm. Gotta get it tight. All right, it's pretty good. Nice. All right, so the throttle cable, we've got our pedal assembly that we designed. We've got the knurled tops with the aluminum bodies. Runs all the way down. We've got my throttle cable set up here. Goes into our brand new throttle cable. And then this feels good, so I'm going to tighten that up as well. Run it up, loops around because it's a little long, it's fine. And then it drops into here with all the slide and everything. And then, like I said, you want to have it go pretty much straight up for a little bit, because if you have it like this, it's not going to work right. Cool. And that's how we're going to do our throttle cables. You can get them online. We'll have a link in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe.